BORTLE here. What's up, everyone? We have a special guest today, YCS champion, the Hani Jawhari. What's up, man? How are you?
Yo, what's going on, Bortle?
Hey, so guys, it's the man behind the LCS events. So he went out and topped eight a cash regional tournament. My goodness, with virtual worlds. So Hani, why'd you decide to play this deck at this event, man?
Honestly, I just thought it was a really good choice. Like there was only two real options. It's the Dragon Link deck and the Virtual World deck. Anything else is just irrelevant. Honestly, I just think every other deck really just struggles and has like terrible matchups, and the Dragon deck and the Virtual World deck are pretty much the only two that could keep up with the meta, honestly.
Oh, there you go. So I was told by little birdie you only lost once throughout the whole day. What deck took you out?
Christian Urena playing his Dragon Link deck, and honestly, he won the dice roll. I pretty much lost every single dice roll at this tournament. Unfortunately, I lost game three. I could have won if the last card in my hand was Lulu and not Gigi, though. That's honestly how I lost. So
Dang, sounds like this deck is the best deck.
honestly, no complaints. Like the deck just honestly just does wonderful things. Ends on like a really good board. Ends on Dragoons, Crystal Wing with Chuche. Your really good hands can end on Shen Shen as well. And you can't forget, like, this deck also plays a lot of hand traps. So you can even end on these, like, fields with, like, multiple hand traps in hand. And, like, it's just too much. And honestly, like, the resource management in this deck is ridiculous. The Shadal matchup is, like, pretty free if you know what you're doing. Like, there's just, like, a lot of the matchups are just really, really easy. Like, the only bad matchup I would say is Dragon, but, like, it's not even that bad because you play so many hand traps and stuff. So it's honestly, I think, one of the best decks, and if not the best deck. Like I really do think this deck's very good.
And I want to talk about the LCS real quick for a hot minute because for those that don't know, you're pretty much the one that helps runs this whole like tournament structure online for the online format through Dueling Book. So yeah, let's talk a little about it. How did it feel like to play actual like Yu-Gi-Oh? Because you're usually the one that's like running it, right?
Yeah, so it felt pretty good. Haven't played in a while. Honestly, like I've only started playing within the week, and honestly, within this week, I think a lot of people have been seeing me play. Like I just honestly been on fire the last couple weeks. I've been playing for money. I've been playing all these type of tournaments. Honestly, it's just been fun to play. You know, just playing here and there. But honestly, my main focus is running the LCS like always, and that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. So I hope everyone comes and plays in the LCS this weekend. It's honestly going to be the best ran LCS I think in a long time. Like I think this is going to be the best LCS yet, and multiple reasons. I'm going to have Christian Urena and Pack streaming on luxurygaming.tv. So check us out on Twitch. Also going to be having Nesh and hopefully Distant Coder judge for the LCS. And I'm going to have George on pairings, and I'm just going to be doing a lot of overseeing this time and making sure everything runs smoothly. So I would assume there would be no delays in this tournament. And honestly, I just expect a very, very good tournament.
So again, we're gonna be plugging the Facebook group so everyone can see how they can join this LCS event. And before we start the actual deck profile, Hani, would you like to do some shoutouts?
Shout out to Kamal, Christian Reina, Christian Eric Rivera. Those are the people I really tested with, you know. So shout out to them. They're always helping me. So also shout out to Nick. You know, luxury. That's pretty much it. I have really no other shout outs.
Sweet. Well, again, guys, make sure to check out LCS that's happening this weekend. And without further ado, please take it away, Hani.
All right. So I played 3 Ash, 2 Phantasme, 2 Ogre, 3 Nibiru. Um, I think this is the perfect ratio for hand traps. I wanted to see hand traps that do the most in this format. Ash is very good. You really want to open Ash Nibiru most of the time against the Dragon Link deck. That pretty much puts an end to their turn because you Nibiru them and then you Ash the Seal in the grave, and it's pretty much game over. I played Phantasme at 2 because I really didn't like drawing into multiples of Phantasme and multiples into of Ogre, but I think the ratio on that was just fine. A lot of people don't play Ogre. It's definitely very weird to see Ogre, but I used Ogre to hit Boot Sector Launch. So usually, like in the Dragon Link deck, they go Seal, and then they go Boot Sector Launch to summon 2 out their hand. If you can Ogre the field spell, it really puts them in a weird spot. And honestly, Ogre's just very unexpected. Like it did really good for me, at least for this event. I really did enjoy using Ogre. So, yeah, Ogre Phantasme, very good cards. But I would only run them at 2. I don't really want to see multiples of these cards, and like I don't want to dead draw into multiple different hand traps. Yeah, I think 10 was fine. I think it was a perfect ratio. Onto the virtual world cards, I played 2 Nyan, 3 Lily, 3 Lulu, 1 Tutu, 3 Lao Lao, 3 Gigi. I think this is the best ratio. 2 Nyan because I played Desires. If I played Prosperity, I would only play 1 Nyan. But if you play Desires, you have to play 2 Nyan. So I think this ratio is fine. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Onto the spells, I played 1 Itelly, 2 Foolish Burial Goods, 3 Desires, 3 Kaloon, 3 Jinglong. Only 2 goods. I don't want to open multiple once per turn cards. I think 2 is fine. 3 Desires. Even though you don't want to open multiple once per turn cards, this card says draw 2. And in this deck, you really want to have cards in your hand because a lot of the effects have the effect to discard cards, and you really just need a lot of cards in hand. So yeah, Desire is really good. So
Cool question. Just want to tackle onto prosperity. Did you consider like running it or trying it out? I mean, desires. You
no,
already said it. You know, draw 2 cards. But what are your thoughts on
no,
prosperity, bro?
Prosperity's good, but you really want to just go Desires, draw 2, and you also want to use Charge Warrior and Coral, and like all those other cards to draw cards throughout your turn. So like Prosperity could be okay, and also I just don't want to banish anything from my extra deck. I literally summon every single card in my extra deck. I think like the whole weekend. The only card I didn't summon from my extra deck was probably just like the Break Sword. Sometimes like it could have been Break Sword, it could have been Fortune Tune, but you know like the rank threes barely come up. What really comes up is making M7, and not that's why I play 2 of those. The rest of the traps I play 2 Chuche, one Zaloon. I don't know how to say this card, but Zanwu, something like that. But yeah, I think this is the perfect ratio for the traps. I wouldn't play more. This is perfectly fine. Um, yeah, I think this is perfectly fine, honestly.
Sweet,
Uh,
perfect 40. You want to tackle the extra deck?
yeah, onto the extra. Played 1 Dragoon, 1 Cloud Castle, 1 Coral Dragon, 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Muddy Mud Dragon, 1 Charge Warrior, 1 Zolkin, 1 Vermilion, 1 Juju. Juju's insane. Probably just like an auto win against shit all invoked and stuff. Like it's really hard for that deck to out this card. Like the only card that outs this is like Apicalone and like Fleur de Lis. Like it's really hard to out this card. 1 Shen Shen, 2 M7s, 1 Zeus, 1 Fortress, and then 1 Break Sword. Um, the extra deck was fine. I think like the Cloud Castle into Fortress was good. Like I've done that a couple times. Like I think Fortress was insane, honestly. Like there was a lot of times where I just like summoned Shen Shen, summoned Vermilion, popped a card on their field, overlaid, made the guy banish a card out their hand, and then like it was just really good. Like I really like this card, and against the trap decks, it's just so oppressive. Against Eldritch, it's so good too. So extra deck was fine. M7 at 2. I don't like fan. I like double M7. So.
You like summoning a couple M7s in the same game?
Yeah, like sometimes I use it on turn 1, and then it will come up on turn 2. So like like this card's good. Onto the side, 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. I decided to side this. Like I just wanted more hand traps against the Dragon Link deck. No complaints. 3 Cosmic, 3 Dark Ruler, no more. This card was okay. Um, this card was actually just okay. Like it's good sometimes, but like honestly, recently it's just not been that good because a lot of the people are switching their Dragon decks to like the PK version. So I don't really like this card that much anymore. Probably just like cut it for their can or something. Their can's like insane. I'd probably just play their can over that. 1 Harpies, 3 Tactics, 1 Red Reboot. Tactics is really good going first, so definitely play. It's also good against the Dino deck. So yep, I think Tactics was good. No complaints on Tactics. Run Ready Boot, of course, for the trap decks. Honestly, very minimal changes I would make to this deck list. Probably like cut Dark Ruler, play their can. That's it. That's probably the only changes I would make. Like the deck was just so good. I won against every single matchup. I versed multiple dragons during the event. I just think the deck is really good. And honestly, like besides just that regional, like I've been playing people for money and all this, and all these other decks just struggle against this deck. Like Not even talking just about this little mini regional, just talking about like playing in general. I've played tons of matches with this deck, and my win ratio with it is way more than any of the other decks I tested. That's for sure. Like the end board's ridiculous. Dragoon's Crystal Wing is just a god field, and even Shen Shen Trap is honestly just a god field against like the Dragon deck. Like that's enough to win you the game sometimes too. So if you're worried about the end board, like the end board is always just enough, and I just think the deck is just really insane. And this is the only deck that can play this amount of hand traps.
Make sure, you guys, to check out the LCS that's happening this weekend. Yo, Hani, what number is it?
Number 12. So you already know.
Number
You
12,
already know.
folks.
Number 12, baby. We've done 12 of these.
So, again, Hani, thanks for joining me today.
Also, I got one more shout out. Last shout out to BORTLE for putting me on the channel. Team BORTLE, baby.
Oh, God, yes. And listeners, if you're not a part of Bortle Nation, sub for Bortle. It's that easy and it's free. Oh, God, yes.
Oh, God, yes.